Now in today's video, we're going to talk about the Flash movie yet again because the directors keep saying things that could make this movie even better than it apparently already is. So, yo, what is good YouTube? Voice you here with another video on the Flash movie. Now, if you are new around here, make sure to subscribe to never miss any of the Marvel, DC, Kaiju, Monsterverse, pop culture based content. Doing my best to cover more subjects within the pop culture field on this channel. So if you could subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on. Are you excited for the Flash movie? Have you watched it already down below? But apparently, according to recent screeners, it said the Flash movie coming out 14th. This is not the final version, thus far it's not reviewable. So when the embargo lifts next week, who's reviewing it? Because apparently the version that's been shown is not reviewable. And also, if you could check us out on Instagram at WashU to see the beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. And also, you could check us out on Twitter, WashUG, because I've got like 12 followers on Twitter. Okay, I haven't really, but for the size of this YouTube channel, I've got like 12 followers in terms of correlation. So they're at it again. Andy Muschietti, Barbara Muschietti, Warner Brothers, everyone is hyping this movie up. Believe the hype. And trust me, if I watch this movie and if it's very good, I've got a press screener for it. So hopefully it's the final version. If the movie is that damn good, I will say, believe the hype. So, you're going to see an image over the top of the screen right now. So what does it say? It says, welcome to the Flash in cinemas June the 14th. So it comes out here in the UK on the 14th. But we're going to focus on the bottom part of this picture. This is not the final version, therefore not reviewable. So when the review embargo lifts on the 6th of June, what the hell are people going to be reviewing? Because this is not reviewable. Technically, I guess you're not allowed to review a product that's not the finished version. Now, why am I saying this? Because Andy Muschietti and Barbara Muschietti keep hyping up. The Flash producers say the film post-credit scenes won't disappoint. So I attached a few clips for this video started. So they're really trying to hype up some missing parts, some missing cameos, some missing bits here and there that is going to make the movie go in a much greater experience. So they said if you watch the movie on the 16th or after that, theatrically, there's going to be lots of surprises. The ending won't disappoint. They are really hyping this movie up to the point where they're like, yeah, if this movie does well, Ezra Miller can come back. Why though? Seriously, why? What you got to understand, they're not in charge of DC Studios. They're not the boss. Not even close. So it doesn't really... They didn't even write the script for this movie. They just directed it and add some cameos here, there, and everywhere. So the post-credit and ending won't disappoint. Okay, careful spoilers. I don't want to ruin your life. This is coming from a very good source that has a very good track record in everything. I know the Twitter handle name is a bit funny and it's a bit out there, but to be fair, they haven't got anything wrong that I can remember. So the handle is, can we get some toast? So the Flash final version post-credit. Okay, so this is, you don't want to miss it. It's going to make you really happy. It won't disappoint. George Clooney's face is shown. Final scene of the movie. Okay, and I believe this is the original. Actually, it's not the original source. It came out on a podcast, I think, in February, saying that George Clooney was most likely going to be in the movie. So here's the post-credit scene that you're not going to be able to miss because it's that freaking cool. So George Clooney's face is revealed at the end in post-credit. We went over this the other day, but this is much more detailed. Barry and Arthur, aka Jason Momoa, are at a bar talking about the multiverse. Barry mentions how Batman represents the same thing across the multiverse, but it's different people. Arthur asks about him, and Barry says they're all the same, but we've never seen him in any other universe. So I don't understand how Barry knows that. The universe he spent the most amount of time in recently is the Keatonverse, and that's where we're gonna see Fiora, Zod, etc. Aquaman was dead or not born or something. Arthur falls over drunk, asks Barry for another drink, and flips him an Atlanta treasure to pay for it. Barry wishes he could get drunk because his metabolism is too fast. It doesn't let him. Although any Flash fan or any person with common sense would know if he could move that fast that he has to eat a lot of food, hence why he was eating pizza in the Justice League movie. So that is the you're not gonna want to miss moment in the post credits. I think it's an absolute waste of time. It's not going to disappoint you. That's just nostalgic again, nostalgia bait. They've done that throughout the movie. You've got Michael Keaton, you've got all these different cameos. Careful for spoilers, I don't want to ruin your life. You even have CGI old footage of Christopher Reeve. You got Wonder Woman, a different Wonder Woman. You got, like, in the most recent TV spot, there was a faceless Superman on the screen, and it's a George Clooney ending. Why did DC Studios not use this opportunity to cast the new Superman, reveal him to be there, and that would be like a freaking oh my god kind of moment? But the issue is, Andy and Barbara have hyped these post-credit scenes up, the ending up so much. Most people won't care for George Clooney Batman. Hell, most people wouldn't have cared even if it was Christian Bale, although we all know Christian Bale won't do any Batman work unless Christopher Nolan, the GOAT. They're never going to get to the heights of Christopher Nolan Dark Knight trilogy. And that's why I find it funny when the reaction's saying, oh, it tested the best since the Dark Knight. Did it really though? So, nostalgic bait. You had a perfect ending, but you decide to use George Clooney. Now, what I do find interesting is Andy said he wants to avoid spoilers and leaks getting out, so they're not revealing the real ending and the real post-credit scene to anybody. This George Clooney story's been out there for such a long time. Christian Bale, George Clooney have been in this movie for over a year, or at least that's what most fans have perceived and has thought. So instead of introducing the new Superman for Superman Legacy, or the new Batman, or Damian Wayne, or a new character that's actually going to be going forward in the DCEU. It's literally okay, hypothetically speaking, if it's real, if this is really the ending, as far as I know, Can We Get Toast is a pretty good source. And until they're wrong a bunch of times, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because it lines up with everything I've been hearing for the last 6 months pretty much. They've wasted it. A scene in a bar, which is pretty close to the original scene, really. The original scene had Barry and Arthur in a bar, obviously with other people. That was the original post-credit ending scene. So whatever they actually changed here, I get it. They've got to promote their movie. They know that Shazam 2 and Black Adam failed. So this movie has to make a lot of money. And because of all the marketing, the Super Bowl advert, which cost millions, advertising at the NBA, Warner Bros. Discovery funding all these fan screeners because they are free. I don't care what anyone says. Some people say they pay for a fan screener. It makes no sense. You don't pay for a press screener. You don't pay for a red carpet. Why would you pay for a fan screening of a movie that apparently isn't even the finished version? Why would you do that? You wouldn't. So I really hope that Believe the Hype line is real, because when it comes to Across the Spideyverse, that movie, I can't see any comic book movie being better than that this year. Believe the hype for Across the Spideyverse, because that movie is insane. Didn't rely on 100 different cameos. I know what you're going to say, but there's like 300 Spider-Men in it. Yeah, but they're not Spider-Men who have big actors behind them. They're just characters from the comics that are used in its right place. So there will be a lot of comparisons between The Flash and Across the Spideyverse because they're both multiversal based stories, but it's not like Across the Spideyverse relied on the cameos. The main stars of Across the Spideyverse was Gwen and Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2099 Miguel, if you like. So hopefully the Flash movie, when it says believe the hype, hopefully it is real. And it's just like one big hype train. Andy Muschietti, when asked if he is directing the Batman Brave and Bold, I don't think I can talk to that yet. So what is he saying? I can't talk about that unless if this movie bangs $1 billion, then maybe I might get the job. Hopefully this will be the last video I have to do talking about the Flash stuff, because I generally am looking forward to watching the movie. I will be watching it on week of the release because that's when my screening is. And then I will watch it again when it publicly comes out. But I don't actually have any perception that the version they've shown at CinemaCon and the versions they're showing all over the world at the moment is going to be any different to the theatrical release that comes out. Maybe they're just going to add the post-credit scene in and the ending scene, because the version everyone's already seen is a vague Batman appears, but you don't see who it is, or some variation of that. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at WishG. Check us out on Twitter, WishG, and I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.